They don't look kosher. But...
What is that?
Well, when I look under the bonnet of others, I see there's a difference in this spacer. But maybe it's just the year.
Well, I have the load off of it. When I come down,
that's what it is. Maybe okay.
From a judging kind of point of view, this looks a little Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
You could do something there to kind of pretty it up. These distributors use 2 4-cylinder caps.
Right.
They're the same as like a Porsche.
Right.
They have a belt that times them. And what you want to do is have that belt replaced and replace the bearings in that while you're doing it. So bearings have a tendency to want to seize. There's no parts available for those. Anything you need made, you have to get a machinist to make it. So it's good to keep that in good service. Your valve cover gaskets are leaking. I would personally recommend going to the neoprene seals because they're a bolt-on fix, and they should never leak again.
Okay. Now this one's got a confused air conditioner. It wants to blow heat out of the fascia.
Okay.
And I understand there's a circuit board. We're thinking it's acting really strange. It blows hot out of the floor and cold out of the defrost, and the compressor comes on, but it doesn't know what to do.
You really need the special tool to run it through and do the checks on it. So,
we'll have somebody look at it.
If not, it's a guessing game.
Yeah.
So.
Pete has the tool, just so you know. It's a control box that allows you to control each thing.
It's supposed to have a bad copper filament in there or something.
You're going to want to replace these air pump check valves, and you're going to have to replace these hoses. They're as hard as anything.
These are all original. I'm sure that they're all trash, and we have planned to do that.
But the reason for it being is when you get into it, these can crack like glass when you're trying to work.
I can see that. I think we could break that one right now, just yanking on it.
Right. This wiring for the hood light needs to be tied down properly. There should be some plastic clips that it gets fed into so it doesn't look like that. You have to take the hood off to do various service functions, and you have to let that loose, but it should be tied back. I can see several air conditioning leaks on the car.
Okay.
This suction hose here is absolutely leaking.
Yeah, and you can see and if you look up top there, Simon, you see the serial number plate?
Yes.
See, it's been rubbing the hose.
Yes.
And I think that may have, you can see right there by your,
Yeah,
right
this is the high pressure hose, this is the suction hose. The high pressure hose, at least at the fittings, I can't necessarily see a leak. The low pressure, it certainly is leaking. And then there's another hose here that goes back to the evaporator out of the dryer, and it's certainly leaking. There's a set of O-rings in there. You're going to want to replace the accumulator feed hoses, the brake pump feed hoses. These are hard as anything, they're porous and they're leaking. At the same time, you may as well do the accumulator return hoses, which I believe on this car are going to be over there and come around. We'll see that one.
We've pretty much identified every hose under here is just about junk from sitting.
Yeah, yeah.
All the wires. Do we believe this to be all original wiring and distributor caps?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's time.
Yeah. All right, well, let me lift it up here. Coming up.
Drive by rail.
It looks to me that the brake pads certainly need a service. It looks like you've got enough material, at least on the outside of the pad, to do a service. As far as this inside pad, I don't know, but they look real dry. They need a service. Come out, scuff them out, lubricate them.
We're not sure. But what do you think? That's the one we really went to see, the one that went
Recommend doing the brake hoses too. They're old enough now that they could benefit from it.
23 years. 22 and a half.
Need certain measurements. We're trying to figure out what measurement. If you know what to measure. I said, well, I told John, I said, but you got to know what to measure. He said, my pictures will do and stuff. I was telling the guy.
This engine mount has separated. I've been talking about this all day. I finally found one.
Found one that's done it.
Yeah, this one's separated completely. You can see the you can see how it's wanting to slip out of there. It's no longer vulcanized to the bracket.
Right.
It's let go. These accumulators have been done. They used to be green. Now they come in this charcoal gray color. So they're.
Told me he had done that now.
Front brake pads need to be replaced. They're just low.
Yep.
The clips are the wrong way around. This clip should be down here.
Okay, so those have been done.
The squeal clips come with the new brake pads, though. You get a new set of clips if you buy them from Rolls.
Gotcha.
I'd want to take those heat shields off and take a good look at the upper control arm bushings. They're real hard to see because of the heat shields, but that one over there looks like it's shifted over a little bit. Okay. They can shift and or just tear out completely. And if they have shifted, you need to take the heat shields off around the compliance mounts and make double sure that they're okay also. You absolutely need new tires.
Yeah, these are looking at the date stamp on them.
I was trying to find the date stamp.
They are. I saw them the other day, and they are not fresh. I think they're like 2001 maybe? 01 or 02 or something. 01, I think. You're right. Yeah, they're dry rot.
You haven't been able to buy these for at least 10 years. Go ahead and do the front engine mount while you're going to do the rears.
Okay.
And they're all done. It doesn't look that great.
That tranny leak.
This is
This one. Can you look at this one and tell us what you think that one says? They're dry rotted anyway.
No, these are older than 2009, Carol. What were you saying about a trans?
35 week of 35th week of 2001.
99, that would be my guess. That would be my guess. Second set of tires I ever put on that.
What were you saying about a transmission leak?
I've got a tranny leak that shows up when I've had it parked for a week or so. I'll get a couple of drops here, and when I start the car, this exhaust pipe here is burning transmission fluid off. So there's, I think, a couple of lines, and that's the remnant of it.
Well, the lines certainly aren't leaking.
So where would that tranny fluid, and it is tranny fluid. It's red anyway. It is red fluid. Not,
What color is the power steering fluid?
it could very well be, I don't know. Could be red.
Yeah, that's your problem. It's your pump.
Okay, there it is. Looking up there. There it is, I see it.
I don't know. I can't tell if it's a hose or if it's just the front seal that's leaking.
But it is a power steering leak.
You're going to have to wash it off and see where it's coming from.
There you go. Thank you. All I did was take this from the guy and was driven it about 3,000 miles. It hasn't been driven 500 miles in the last 10 years.
Where did you get it from?
Over a top order from a guy. From a guy that was too old to drive it. So he said, "Oh, them tires, I put those tires on there not long ago."
Yeah. Not long ago is everything's relative.
10 or 12 years ago.
When you're 98 years old, not long ago is 12 years ago.
You got to try and find those A-bombs.
The ones that he's got.
I just go to Discount Tire and they order them for me. It takes 6 weeks, but
Are they new tires? Or are they old tires?
His date stamp was fresh on his.
yeah, they're new tires. They get them shipped
I
over.
looked at that when I saw they were Avons. I was wondering how fresh they were.
John Grubb buys some Avon or full stock on the shelf.
Who does?
John Grubb.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Material for the ABS sensor. It's just flaking off. You don't want those wires to rub into the frame because your ABS light's going to come on. The system will be deactivated.
That's some little plastic coil non-abrasion stuff.
Yeah, you could, or you can get spaghetti like that, black spaghetti and just run it out. There's both sides of it. It evidently can't hold up to the oil or whatever.
Just putting in some we're gonna have
Now something somebody told me with you don't want to lift these cars off the frame because it's hard on the seal in these shocks, and that's what causes them to leak. So if you're going to get a drive uplift, that is your best choice for these things because of the seal in these rams right here. That's what damages the seal. It looks like a good car though. It looks like a good buy.
Yeah, it drives like new. Yeah, it really does.
Corniche 3?
It's a Corniche 3, yeah. I mean, I drove it up yesterday from San Antonio on the bypass, 85, 95 miles an hour.
It's called that low end torque.
Now I've got the oil pressure gauge hit a pothole when I was up in Louisville at the National Meet, and ever since it's been. Where is that sending unit picked up? And then it'll straighten out. And
Right back here. There's the oil pressure sending unit right there, that around.
It just all of a sudden starts working, and then you'll hit a bump again, and it starts wiggling around on the edge.
Take it back and turn it in.
90.
90.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah, she's a pleasure to drive.
How many cars did you look at? Were you looking at
The reason I bought this one is when I went in, I knew it. I looked under the hood and I could see that everything was dry rot. But the guy, the second owner, started like Texas, and he pulled the sheet off it. And then when it was time for the test drive, I went to get behind the wheel.
You knew he was particular about his car.
Pretty particular, and I said, you know what? And it started. And it, you know, I mean, it needs all the wires, it needs all of the sugar caps, the little belt on those little commercial things. I mean, it's all that stuff. The only trouble he said he ever had was the Bosch relays. He kept a few of those in his desk drawer to show him. You'll need some of these on. That's it.
Coming down, guys. Yeah.